Newly single, professional photographer, used to be fun. I'm still fun.
Here comes the dance.
Can't stop! Won't stop! Okay, I'll stop.
Raising 3 kids on my own, I'm barely keeping it together. It's time for me to focus on myself and my needs.
Hola Freddie, ¿cómo estás? How are you?
Muy bien, ¿y tú?
Muy emocionado de platicar contigo. I'm very excited to talk to you. Such an honor. I've been a fan forever, so I'm very excited.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate the time, man. Thank you so much.
So this is very exciting, bringing back Punky Brewster. What does that mean for you? Why did you want to be part of this project?
I didn't know I did until I got the script. It's a weird story. I mean, I was very much retired. I wasn't reading scripts. My agent would get mad at me for not reading scripts, but I wanted to be a stay-at-home dad. It was very easy for me to walk away from the business growing up without one. I knew what was most important to me. And then randomly, a mutual friend of Soleil's and mine, his name is Brian Austin Green. A lot of you know him for all the way back from 90210 to today, really talented actor. He was on my sitcom with me back in the day. And he called me up and he said, hey man, I know you're lazy and you don't want to work anymore, but this show really likes you. And I think you should check it out. Soleil's the lead, they're remaking Punky. And I've known her since I was a little kid, and she's the son, she's the this, she's the that. And if you meet her, you're gonna do the show. So I said, okay. And I hung up the phone and I played Call of Duty for like 8 hours instead of reading the script. And then 2 days later, he called me up and he's like, you friggin' jerk, man. Why didn't you read the script? I tell people you're gonna read the script. I was like, I'm sorry, dude, I'm so sorry. He's like, it shoots in LA. I'm like, why did you say that in the first place? Which is the main reason I became a stay-at-home dad. Nothing really shot here anymore. And I didn't want to go do a show in Canada for 6 months, 9 months and not be home. So I sat down, I started reading the script and I started laughing. And my wife says, what are you laughing at? I say, yeah, you won't believe me if I told you. She goes, what are you reading, you jerk? She says that a lot. And I said, I'm reading the Punky Brewster pilot. And she just stopped. She was like, wait, what? I go, yeah, they're remaking Punky. She was like, you're doing the show. I was like, what do you mean? I haven't even read the script yet. She says, Freddie, you're gonna love her. She's everything Brian said about her. She's the sun, she's the moon, she's the stars, she's the bird, she's the wind. Sarah did like a talk show with her in New York City. It was only on in New York called Girl Talk or Girl Chat. You could probably YouTube it. And they were like 14. It was like The View, but for kids. It was like an after school like View basically. And she's like, you're gonna love her, you have to meet with her. So I go to meet with her. This is a long-winded story, but it'll answer a lot of your questions, I promise. So I read the script, I love the script. It's very 80s and old school. They're not solving every problem in 21 minutes. In fact, they fail way more than they succeed, which I love. And so I say, all right, let me meet Soleil. So they're shooting at Universal Studios here in Los Angeles. I go to meet her and we're gonna have lunch in front of the Back to the Future clock tower. And right away, she brings out 2 bags of In-N-Out cheeseburgers. And I'm like, wait, did I just find the only other actress besides my wife who eats a cheeseburger in Los Angeles? I already love this girl. So we're eating cheeseburgers and she's telling me about Travis and his character. And she's talking about the drugs and the entertainment lifestyle. And I'm like, yo, you're describing my father. Like my mom had to divorce my dad because I wouldn't be safe with him because he was a drug addict and had a 75 Corvette Stingray. Like she had no choice. I go, I can totally do this. So while we're having the conversation, this girl who works at Universal, I think she's like a tour guide or an usher or something. She has a full like pantsuit on and sick hair. Like it's short like ours, but on top it's like long and angled cuts. And I wish my hair looked like that. And she looks like she's from the future, right? And she tells us, listen, in the next 5 minutes, there's gonna be a wedding proposal here. Can I ask you to, and before she even finishes the sentence, Soleil and I are like, we're gone, go, do your thing. And there's these like New Mexico style adobe stairs that go to nowhere left of the clock tower. So we climb up there and we're watching this. And it's the same girl that asked us to leave. She brings her girlfriend up. She gets down on one knee. The girl says yes, don't worry. And the Universal Studios tram car comes by full of tourists. This was pre-pandemic. And they play them the Back to the Future theme song and everybody starts cheering and clapping this like profession of love that they've just seen, right? And I'm looking at Soleil and she's looking at me and I'm like, look, I know I was retired, but I'll commit everything to this if you want me. And she's like, we want you. I was like, then I want you too. And we just said yes and jumped in and did it.
I mean, if that isn't a sign, what is, right?
Exactly.
Morning, babe. Wait, what just happened? You're not supposed to be here. We're divorced. And don't call me babe.
You called me babe.
You still have a thing for him.
And what I love about the show is that, I mean, Latinos, we have big families. And we have the primo, we have the tia, we have everybody living in the house. And the show is about a big family, and many in our community don't know about foster kids. I love that it's going to introduce that idea and that to our community, so we learn more about that.
There's a little girl that needs a place to stay while Cherry finds her a home.
Is the coast clear?
You must be Izzy, but we all have to agree.
No.
Absolutely not.
Okay, here's the thing. We're doing it.
You know, I think in the 70s and early 80s, those types of stories were told very much, the things that were important that needed to be told, because that's the kind of stuff that was on the lips of the media back then. Nowadays, you guys have different priorities and you want to shine light on other things, and it gives shows that are willing to do it an opportunity to showcase that as well. That art form got lost in the late 80s and 90s when studios became publicly traded companies, and you know, groups could send letters and all this, and so they would just not do those types of storylines. But streaming services give us an opportunity to tell more truthful stories. Like I mentioned earlier, they don't solve all the world's problems in 22 minutes. They fail more often than they succeed. I mean, we have a gender identity episode, not even an episode. One of the kids is having issues with that throughout the whole season. And for the cynical ones out there, they're like, oh, I don't want to hear that. Don't worry, we write to that. The kids don't want to hear about it either, man. They're not trying to hear about it. It's an oversensitive mother and a father who's trying to overcompensate sometimes, which is a mistake. So you get acknowledged too. It's a very honest, truthful show in that regard. No show is honest and truth. It's all Hollywood. But in that regard, it is. And it's one of the many reasons why I kind of fell in love with it.
Punky Brewster is back!
Is that better?
Thank you so much, Freddie, for sharing it with us. And I can't wait for everybody to see you on television.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate you guys giving us the time to bring the show to you. And I hope you guys watch it and dig it.
We will. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Adios.
Adios.